Hello and welcome to episode 15 of the Regista Football Podcast. My name is Jack. Once again, I'm joined here by my friend Ben. How are you doing, man?
Jack, I'm doing pretty good. Probably doing a little better than you are, but I know we'll get into that.
What are you talking about? I'm doing great.
Yeah, you doing great?
I'm doing great, yeah.
What's been going on? I mean, it's been a couple of weeks since we've been around. What's been going on?
Hold on, this is a football podcast?
Yeah, it's a football podcast.
Damn. I'm not that great then. I'm not that great. We've not done a podcast for a few days, typically outside of our normal schedule, which has been like every 3-4 days for the last few months. Mm-hmm. I've been sick and I've started a new job, so I've been a bit busy, but we're hoping to get back on that schedule pretty soon. And because of that, we have a relatively packed podcast for you guys today. Before we get into that, we are in North Park Beer Company in North Park, San Diego, the HQ, so to speak.
Yeah.
This was actually the first place we recorded a Pub Diaries episode.
Yeah.
And the episode's going to be kind of similar, man.
It is going to be very similar.
Yeah. I remember being sat here complaining about how Liverpool were playing. I'm probably going to be doing the exact same thing. So
last time we were here, we played a German team in the Champions League and actually had a really good result against that team. Then played a pretty decent game in the Premiership. Not as good this time around for Arsenal.
We got battered by PSV and lost to Forest. That was the last time we were here, so I remember that vividly. Fortunately, it's not as bad as that, but it's still not great. Yeah. Order of operations today. So what are we going to get into? We're going to go talk very briefly about the FA Cup draws that happened last week. Talk about some of the games there. We're going to round up what we just witnessed in the Champions League, Galatasaray, Liverpool, Leverkusen, Arsenal, and then we're going to end on this last week of Premier League action. Arsenal versus Everton and Liverpool versus Spurs. How does that sound, Ben?
I'm excited to get into it.
Brilliant. So let's talk through the FA Cup then. So the draws that have happened in the quarterfinal, we've got Arsenal versus Southampton, Chelsea versus Port Vale, and Man City, Liverpool, West Ham versus Leeds. How do you feel about that? As an Arsenal fan, you must be pretty positive.
Yeah, as an Arsenal fan, I feel very, very lucky to have pulled Southampton. I think the only other team I would want on that line was probably Port Vale, but we already beat Port Vale earlier on in the League Cup. I just feel like Liverpool got the worst draw possible.
Yeah, we did.
Getting City. You and I were chatting about this, and you're like, watch you get a non-Premiership team, and we're going to pull Premiership teams.
Yeah, it's. Chelsea would be delighted with Port Vale as well, I think.
Oh, yeah.
You expect Arsenal and Chelsea to go through and make it to the semis. Yeah. Liverpool get Man City away, which is probably the worst game we could have got there.
Yeah.
Arsenal away wouldn't have been fun either. Chelsea away wouldn't have been fun, but we've not particularly played very well against City this season whenever we've played them, and I really don't like that draw for us, to be honest with you. And then West Ham versus Leeds, I think that's a fun game.
That's going to be a fun game, yeah. There's a lot riding for West Ham on that.
Definitely. Yeah. And especially, I don't know, to get this far into the competition, anything can happen, you know. And I think those teams like Leeds, West Ham will be pretty happy with drawing one another for the most part. Yeah, I think overall, we're going to end up seeing Arsenal, Chelsea in the semis. I'm not sure about City, Liverpool. I don't think we're going to beat City at the Etihad, to be honest with you, mate. Worst possible draw we could have probably gotten, but it is what it is. And then West Ham, Leeds. I think I favour Leeds in that matchup, personally.
Okay. I was going to say, I kind of favour West Ham in that.
Really?
They've been doing really well.
They have, yeah.
Generally, I think they have something, they've kicked into a different gear. I wouldn't say it's third gear, but they kicked into second gear.
Yeah, there's definitely a gear up from what they were doing earlier in the season.
Yeah.
I remember when they were just conceding goals for fun.
Yeah.
And they're not doing that anymore. Saw they performed this weekend. They did very, very well this weekend. So they've turned a bit of a corner. It makes the relegation battle a bit more fun.
Yeah.
Especially considering Leeds are actually in the relegation battle too at this stage. So I think, as a Liverpool fan, I'm pretty pissed off with drawing Man City, but that's kind of the story of our season, to be honest with you, mate. We draw Galatasaray, which is a pretty nice draw in the Champions League, but we're on the side of death. Whatever happens, we get PSG, Real Madrid, some difficult teams up next.
Yeah, or City.
Yeah, so
if City can pull it back.
None of it is fun.
Yeah.
But you know what they always say, you're going to have to play these teams at some point anyway.
Yep.
as a Liverpool fan, I'd rather you put me out my misery sooner rather than later. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, FA Cup. I'm looking forward to the games either way. Really, at least from my perspective, this is the hope I have biggest in terms of Liverpool winning silverware this season. I think Liverpool could go further in the Champions League, but just the nature of how we're playing and the side of the draw we're on, it'll be really tough to see Liverpool go forward, in my opinion, in that competition. So I want everything riding on this.
Yeah.
City versus Liverpool, not particularly confident, but we'll see how it goes ultimately.
Yeah, something could happen for City. City is also in multiple competitions right now. We forget, but they are going for the quad.
They are.
The quad as
well.
For
anyone that obviously can't see Ben right now, he just did the double quotation signs. The quad, so to speak.
The quad.
But yeah, you never know. They have some really tough fixtures in the next few games. Hopefully we face them in a situation where they're blowing out their ass a little bit and we can take advantage of it. But Liverpool are eternally blowing out their ass. So I never actually know, man. But yeah, that's the FA Cup. Let's get into the Champions League then. So let's start with Liverpool Galatasaray. Crazy game. After we do this one, we're getting to Leverkusen and Arsenal. Some things in this game then. So let's talk about the lineup. Wirtz was playing off the left in this game, which I personally don't like. I feel when he plays off the left, we have way less influence up high in midfield. Mm-hmm. He has license to roam, but what you often see is you see the fullback isolated on the other side. He doesn't have a lot of midfield help over on that side, so typically you just see the fullback playing back inside. I really don't like seeing that. When they do that, I understand why they do it, because they want like a collective press. And Wirtz is one of the most effective pressers in the Premier League. 100th percentile for almost every type of pressing metric, like really, really impressive. Gomez starts at right back. It's nice to have him fit as an option.
Yeah.
And then Kirke's in at left back for Robertson, who I thought could have potentially played in this game. Galatasaray had an interesting lineup in this game. They didn't play any of their older guys. They have a bunch of guys that are like established, but they're not spring check-ins anymore. Like they're not young. So Gundogan didn't start. They started a midfield of Lamina and Torreira. Lamina, we've had issues with in the past, playing for Southampton. Just dual-winning monster, like gets himself about, and Lucas Torreira from his time at Arsenal, very similar, gets about, puts his foot in, and that's really how the game ends up going. Like I feel they set up with the idea of we want to try and win this tie at home. That doesn't quite happen, and we'll get into that, but the game is actually nuts. Like it's basically basketball for most of that game.
Yeah.
Did you manage to catch any of this game?
I watched highlights of this game. I was honestly just really surprised about. I expected it to be more open because it's it's a UCL match, but the amount I think of openness I was really surprised about.
Super open.
You were also at Galatasaray, so that also kind of makes sense. But I think we talk about this being Liverpool's competition.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like they played in a way that established that this was their competition.
Yeah. I think that's a really fair point to make. Yeah. I think a lot of the game, I mean, we have a chance to go 1-0 up early in the game with Wirtz. Criticism of Wirtz I would have, he either doesn't shoot or when he does, he just doesn't hit the ball well enough. Like his ball striking isn't what you would want from someone who picks up the ball in good positions in the box. Probably about 4 minutes in, we have a pretty decent chance from Florian Wirtz, but they score really quickly after that. Yeah. And it's funny, because I've seen a lot of Liverpool fans basically say, we dominated that first part. You go fucking 1-0 down. How are you dominating anything in that first part of the game? Osimhen is basically wide open in the box, wins a header, goes to Lamina. Lamina scores 1-0. And for me, that was a little bit against the run of play. But because of the nature of the first 5 minutes of the game, it was nuts. Yeah. We were winning the ball up high. They were being really aggressive in possession, Galatasaray. Yeah. And they win a corner and they go 1-0 up. And from my perspective, I'm not scared at that point. Yeah. We have so much of the game left that I feel Liverpool can get a stranglehold back. But really, throughout most of the game, we don't establish much control then at all. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just looking overall at, the momentum map, right? In the first half, you have a good amount of momentum.
Yeah.
And then the first time that they got Galatasaray have momentum, they score on it. But even then, I remember texting you, and I was like, hey, how you doing? You're like, we got this. And in my mind, I was like, yeah, obviously, you go a goal down against Liverpool, if Liverpool goes goal down, they usually come back with something. And in that first half, it just didn't seem like they came back with anything.
No.
Like, what was going on during that time?
It's really interesting. Like, there have been games this season where Liverpool have played well when they deal with kind of like man-to-man. This is one of the games where I think there's a few factors into this. Firstly, I would say that if you listen to the game, like if you heard the atmosphere, it's really nuts. Like, I don't know if it's completely, what's the term, genuine, but there are basically jeers and whistles throughout 90 minutes of the game. Like, the fans are like whistling as soon as we're on the ball. I feel it affects like how the players communicate with one another. Overall, I think Liverpool, they do okay dealing with the man-to-man situation in that half. Like 55% ground duel win rate and 55% aerial duel win rate. So like they're getting the slight edge over Torreira and Lamina. But really, I think where it goes wrong for me is how they pass in that first half. There are so many situations where if they just play the ball accurately into some space, Liverpool on a counter-attack. So I'll give you some stats here. Pass percentage, so pass accuracy, was 76%. Gravenberch was a little bit better because he was primarily playing like single pivot with 84%. Still not good though for single pivot because you typically expect your pivot to keep it ticking, keep it moving.
Yeah.
And then Szoboszlai was the worst with 71%.
Yeah.
So it goes to show, like, at least for me, they get pulled into the chaos and they're not making particularly great decisions when it comes to the passing in that half. Biggest trends for the first half for me is like Osimhen is a monster. He is so difficult to deal with when he's on the ball. Maybe this season, I've started to see Virgil age a little bit.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't see him regularly deal with strikers that give him issues like that often. Like, so physical, really, really good at getting his body in between the ball and the defender. And it's rapid, like, incredibly quick. He has, like, a few half chances in that first half. But ultimately, I feel like Liverpool deal with him quite well, although he looks very dangerous. But I don't know, man. Like, from my perspective, I want to see Liverpool be able to pocket strikers like that, especially a lot of the time where he gets the ball. At least from my perspective, Yilmaz was being used as an out ball, and they were playing really well off of each other. But ultimately, I think the way Liverpool deal with Yilmaz, for me, worse than they deal with Osimhen. They give Yilmaz a huge amount of space in front of him, and he is a ball carrier. Like that's literally his game. You can't do that. You need to be really aggressive with him to try and beat him in like contested duels, and we didn't. So we had a bunch of time on the boards and out ball, and Osimhen was able to cause us some problems really based on that. The goal they scored, we're getting to a little bit. Do you remember last season in the Carabao Cup final when Dan Burn is being marked by Alexis McAllister? We saw this similar in this game. So McAllister was dealing with probably the most dangerous aerial threat they have in Victor Osimhen. Gets loose, knocks it down to Lamina, and Lamina scores. What the fuck are they playing at?
Why do we have McAllister, who I don't think is that tall, doesn't have a huge vertical? I mean, what's McAllister's aerial duel rate generally?
Not great, but like, let's talk a bit about how Liverpool set up from corners. They do like this zonal hybrid system. So typically, what I want you guys to think about is I want you guys to think about the 6-yard box. If you have the 6-yard box, near post is zone 1. Back post is zone 2. Typically, the way we do it is Virgil is in the middle of zone 1 and 2. Gravenberch is in zone 2, and Konate is in zone 2. So imagine that. So you have probably your 3 best aerial duel winners. And let's be honest, Gravenberch isn't particularly great in the air. He's just massive. Your best aerial duel winners are in those zones, playing zonally. So then you look at this hybrid system. So McAllister is then on Osimhen because of this situation. But like, use your fucking brain. Doesn't this seem dangerous to you? Like you have probably the least athletic guy on the pitch versus probably the most athletic guy on the pitch who is a freak in the air. I just don't understand it. And ends up punishing Liverpool. He knocks it down completely free in the box. Lamina basically has a chance, which is a really high XG chance. I think in the end, I think it's at least 0.9 XG for that chance. So it's basically in the fucking goal mouth. 1-0. And really, the whole half is chaos. Like very end-to-end, back and forth. Liverpool, again, which has been a theme at least a lot of this season, is really wasteful in situations. You know, like when you're in situations where if the pass is made correctly, you can create a chance from that situation.
Yeah.
And Liverpool don't do that.
Yeah.
Really sloppy passing in those situations. And we go into the second half. There were some corrections in the second half that I thought were needed to make. Wirtz was drifting way more onto that right side, kind of helping people connect. He was rarely left side dominant in the first half. And Wirtz's on-ball value is considerably higher than Szoboszlai's. Like, Szoboszlai, for me, is he's more of a box-to-box midfielder for me. He's not like a really dangerous final third player.
Yeah.
So when Wirtz has the opportunity to be able to drift from right to left, he's able to connect more and do more dangerous stuff on the ball. I start to see him get way more touches in both left and right half spaces, which is where you want him picking up the ball. Ultimately, it's more of the same then. Like, pedestrian passing and possession. It's like a lack of focus when it comes to, what's the term? Just pure incision on the ball. They don't do it, and ultimately, the best chance falls to Hugo Ekitike, kind of on the left side of the box. He has an opportunity where he can just come onto it and hit it with his right foot, hits it straight at the goalkeeper. But again, they just don't create enough, really, to create like their stamp on the game. And I've seen that time and time again this year. I'd say Galatasaray get like a good amount of chances. I'd say half chances on the counter-attack. Like, they're not creating a bunch, but like, they are obviously incredibly dangerous on the counter-attack. Yilmaz, really good ball carrier. And then obviously, as I touched on the first half, Osimhen was a huge problem in that game. Here's a question. Did you see the offside goal from Osimhen?
Yeah.
How is that offside?
I have no idea.
It's a terrible decision.
I'm sure we're going to get into terrible decisions later on in this podcast. But yeah, I couldn't see how that was offside.
No. Who are they giving offside there? Yilmaz? He doesn't touch the ball.
Yeah.
So I understand like the concept of like, he might interfere with play, but he doesn't even do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's bizarre. We should be 2-0 down after that. So I'm going to say that immediately. Konate fucks up, basically passes directly to an oncoming attacker, manages to recover and defend a cutback to Osimhen, but it drops to him eventually, and then he ends up putting it in the net. Got really bailed out there, I'll be honest with you. We could have gone 2-0 down there. There was a situation where Ekitike just after that was basically through one-on-one, if you remember that. Kind of scuffs it. It's not a particularly good finish. He does an okay job, so the XG on that was 0.38, which is considered a big chance.
Yeah.
And then the X got on that was 0.63. Based on where he was in the box, I think he should do better with the finish, but keeper saves it. It is what it is. Liverpool score from a corner after that. It's scrappy. It bounces around. It hits Van Dijk's hand. Based on the rules, that should have been given as a goal. But they disallowed it. I understand why they disallowed it, because it does hit his hand, but based on the rules, like, the ball scuffs off of Konate, I believe, after Virgil. He's the only guy where I actually see it hit his hand. It might have been disallowed off of Konate, but the whole communication around that situation was a joke.
Yeah.
Like, it was given as 1-1. It was really unsure. I could definitely see it on the broadcast. Like, no one really knew what was happening. They disallow it, whatever. Still 1-0. I'll be honest, man. Like, we continue to see this in Liverpool games. Like, at the end of games, Liverpool start to wane a little bit in terms of energy, and we don't have enough quality to come off the bench to really make a difference. I think Rio comes on, and I think he does okay, but like, how much can you rely on a fucking 17-year-old to be your Lord and Savior? Like, what can you be doing in those scenarios? I think Wirtz overall has a pretty poor game. He's really good off the ball, actually, in this game. He often gets criticized off the ball, but these are people that don't actually look at stats. He's actually really productive off the ball, and he continues that. But on the ball, man, just fucking hit the ball, man.
Yeah.
If you're open in the box, just let go. Have a shot. Happened several times in this game. Gakpo, I thought, was subpar as well. Is what it is. One thing, actually, I would like to say, there are several times where Mo Salah is really passive when it comes to pressing on that right side, and the only option after that is Ryan Gravenberch from DM has to cover like 20 yards of fucking space. That's not good. That's not a good defensive structure whatsoever. If you don't think your right side is gonna press, then don't fucking press. Don't make the DM come 20 yards out of his position to press the fucking ball and leave a chasm in midfield. And they do it again and again and again. And it's so frustrating to watch. Liverpool lose 1-0 in Galatasaray. Am I confident that Liverpool can turn it around? After today, no, I'm not. But they should. If they don't, mate, heads could roll. If they don't,
yeah. I mean, if you look at the overall stats for the game, right? Like this game, I felt like was a lot more even than I thought it was going to be. Like Galatasaray is a good side. There's a reason why they're where they are in the Champions League right now. But if just looking at the stats, Galatasaray 1.34 expecting goals, while Liverpool 1.31.
Yeah,
it's a home match, so I think like there's a lot of things that that have been going like towards them.
This is the argument I'll ask you though. Aside from Osimhen, player for player, Liverpool are better.
Absolutely.
So what the fuck are we playing at?
Yeah.
Take control of the game.
Yeah.
But not once they take control of the game.
Yeah.
In the second half, they generate more XG, but it's not even 1 XG they generate in the second half. It's 0.86. Fucking dross. It's a bunch of like turgid, pointless football. You may as well like skip a bunch of the game, get to big chances that we eventually miss, and then kind of just ride it off. Because that's basically what they're doing for not only for first halves of football, but even second halves of football. I see the manager come out afterwards and be like, "We created a bunch in that second half. You objectively did not.
Yeah.
I have the stats to prove it. So don't try and gaslight me and say we're playing well in second halves, because we're not. I've had enough of it. Honestly, I have. We're going to get into really what I've had enough of when we cover fucking Liverpool and Spurs. But yeah, Liverpool will have to go back to Anfield with a 1-0 deficit.
Yeah. What do they need to do on the second half of this matchup?
Score?
Yeah.
I mean, that's really what they should be trying to do. It's tough, man. For me, ultimately, you're at home against who I think are a weaker opponent. If you watch Galatasaray against Juventus, when they go back to Turin, they get fucking hammered. They're lucky to go through.
Yeah.
They really are. But Juve gets a man sent off and they manage to score a goal in extra time. Galatasaray, they're not great away from home. If Liverpool don't go through in this tie, I'll actually be surprised. But man, it needs to be better than that. Like I think Galatasaray will have a slightly different game plan in this game. I think they're going to end up trying to play way more on the counter-attack and less like duel heavy. I don't know how different they're going to line up ultimately, because I think if you play like 34-year-old Gundogan in this game, Liverpool should smoke them.
Yeah.
He's still quality, but like he's obviously lost a yard. I'm confident going into the second leg. Liverpool need to win the second leg.
Yeah.
Man, it really is what it is. We did lose there earlier in the season. They get a really contentious penalty, but it was still crap in that game too. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe Galatasaray have a bit of a curse on us or something. But
yeah, I feel like there's definitely like some kind of mentality overall that Galatasaray has over Liverpool.
Just dogs.
Yeah, and I think like that's the kind of game they came out to play with. I expect Galatasaray is going to come out in the first 30 minutes at Anfield trying to push as much as they can to get that first goal. And I think that's probably going to be where you need to take advantage of that situation.
If they go 2-0 up on aggregate, we have a serious problem.
Yeah.
I'm on honestly like.
Yeah.
I don't trust Liverpool with a lead, let alone in a deficit.
Yeah.
We're in a deficit now, but like, hopefully the player quality makes a difference. Make correct decisions when they should be making correct decisions. He rests a bunch of players today for that game, I think. But like, what the fuck is Mo Salah going to do right now? Like, it's bleak.
Yeah.
Liverpool need to win. Don't know if they will, but let's go on to Leverkusen and Arsenal.
Yeah. Let's go on to Leverkusen and Arsenal. Arsenal lined up as expected. I call it the new A squad. At least like it's a Champions League A squad that they have. Not a lot of really surprises there. Odegaard's still out, so as a starting in. Martinelli's just starting him. He's had a great season, at least in Champions League so far this season.
Yeah, he's been good in the UCL.
I know a lot of people were surprised about Nkapie starting instead of Calafiori, even though Calafiori's been doing a little better. But I think a part of that was like, let's go back to your club and play him. Nkapie is on loan.
Can we talk about that real quick?
Yeah, of course.
So we have a buddy, Danny, who has a bit of an agenda against Nkapie. I think Nkapie is more productive in possession than Calafiori. Like, if you really watch them play, Arsenal, they put a bunch of onus on fullbacks to be productive in the final third. And Nkapie is more productive than Calafiori in the final third. Am I wrong?
I wonder if that's just volume right now.
Yeah.
Because, like, Danny and I were talking about this the other night, where, like, I mean, Nkapie is traditionally like a center back, left side of center back,
yes.
right?
In a three.
And I think he does really good defensively, but I don't see him doing as well offensively. But I also don't see us going up that left side. We don't need that kind of support play on the left side. Arsenal doesn't need that kind of support play on the left side. But I wonder if it's more of a volume thing right now than anything else.
In what respect?
In respect that, like, he just had more time to play than Calafiori, surprisingly.
Yeah.
And so we noticed that a lot more. And we'll get to that when we get back to Premier League. But, like, I think in this game, Gapier, the first half, I feel like he was kind of disappeared. Largely because I feel like the ball was going down the right side anyways.
But that we know how like right side dominant Arsenal are, right? Like your best players drift over to the right.
Absolutely.
Naturally. I think there's part of that. What I would say though, in moments, I think Gapier is more productive in moments. A couple of weeks ago, in fact, a week ago, I think he gets the cross for the goal that Eze scores. No, Madueke.
Yeah,
he gets the cross for that goal. For me, I think Calafiori is probably a more effective ball carrier.
Yeah, he is.
I don't feel his passing is as good as Gapier, personally.
Yeah, I mean that's very much a ball carrier versus like a ball placer kind of role. Where in Gapier he's been a ball placer as a center back. Like Gapier very much does an overlap while Calafiori does an inverted run.
Yeah.
And so like you'll have those opportunities, and like that's what he's looking for. And Gapier is looking for where should I get the ball for the goal, whereas Calafiori is like where can I get for the goal. Right?
You're right. Yeah, they have like different instincts as players.
Yeah.
We are talking about basically centre backs here in the final third.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's important to remember.
Yeah.
So like they're not going to be the most prolific, productive players in the final third.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I think like in terms of the actual game, actually let's talk a bit about some lineup stuff.
Yeah.
So Trossard out. He was injured.
Yeah, he was. Trossard was injured. He was out.
Martinelli does start.
Martinelli does start.
He's been good in the Champions League, and then Havertz is on the bench. I thought he would start this game.
I thought he would start too. I felt like he would have gotten the start. One, it's Leverkusen. Two, rest Gyökeres. But I feel like Mikel really likes Gyökeres for the Champions League. I think because he's expecting like more of an open game, he wants Gyökeres to run through. And I think that's really what he was expecting playing this game. So he was like, yeah, Gyökeres is my guy for this game.
And like going on to that, I think the start is indicative of that. Like,
absolutely.
Arsenal are playing forward really quickly to Gyökeres.
Yeah, very, very quickly, trying to get out into space. And then I know Gyökeres gets the ball. There's an early yellow card on Andrick. The way that Saka takes that free kick was, in my mind, I was like, yeah, you're just trying to get into the box to bounce around and maybe like get a deflection goal in.
Yeah.
We haven't seen that a lot. We usually see the ball going up over. I thought that Declan would have gotten that free kick to deliver it and like place it on someone's head. But I think a big part of that is this is a different team. Like they are used, like Bayern Leverkusen is used to having the ball come over the top. They are good in the air, in aerial duels.
They have a really combative centre backs. I thought Tapsoba played really well in this game.
Yeah.
It's not often that I see guys in the box still really well with Arsenal aerially, but I think he was actually really impressive. Let's actually check his duel win rate. Keep talking.
Yeah.
I'll check it.
Please do. I think overall, like what I was noticing is Leverkusen was really doing like a high press over on the right side with a lot of triggers. And that's because they're trying to like lock that right side down. They know that's where it's coming from.
That's where the danger is.
Exactly. And Arsenal did a good job in switching over to the left. Martinelli had a chance in the 19th minute. It felt like a very wasted opportunity. Like Martinelli needs an extra touch all the time, but he doesn't get the space for that extra touch every single time, which is really, really frustrating, especially when the ball comes through. It was a great little dummy from Eze straight to Gyökeres. Gyökeres looks over. Gyökeres probably could have taken a shot, but he decides to lay off to Martinelli. And Nelly just like, I feel like he wasn't anticipating the ball.
Does he ever?
I mean, I don't think he does, but like he wasn't anticipating the ball. He takes an extra touch and then he just kind of like hits it really hard. It hits the crossbar, which great. Like you're trying to get on top of the net, but like if you took that extra touch, what if you just put it across the keeper?
Create an angle and put it across. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
I would say like we kind of touched on, like early in that game, I think Arsenal play way faster than we're used to seeing them.
Yeah.
But I think Leverkusen do a good job in like understanding what you're doing and adjust from there. Like you touched on with Andrich, he's typically a DM. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Playing at central centre back because they lost Jonathan Tah.
Yeah.
So he's playing at central centre back. I thought he was good. He could have possibly been sent off.
Yeah.
Though
after that second foul. Yeah.
For me, if he wasn't on a yellow, he'd have probably been given a yellow for that.
Yeah.
But you know how like referees subjectively judge decisions? He's on a red, I don't want to spoil the game. But arguably he could have been sent off for that.
Yeah, and I would say like that was definitely a yellow card. I don't know if it was a second yellow either.
Yeah, that's the tough thing.
That's the hard thing. Like, people talk about like, was it violent? No. Was it like a really big foul that may have stopped anything? Not really. It was in the middle.
To me, it's a bit cynical. And when fouls are cynical, they could be given as yellows.
Yeah.
If he was given a second yellow, I wouldn't have really complained if I was a Leverkusen fan. Because it could have been given as a second yellow.
Yeah. If that was given as a second yellow to an Arsenal player, I probably would have complained.
Yeah. That's fair.
Like realistically, that's I always want to put my mindset in that. I also just would be angry at him. I mean, like you gave him an easy yellow way early on, and then you did another. Like at that point, I'd been like, get this guy off in the half, and
that's probably what they should have done.
What they should have done, but they didn't do it, and that worked out for them.
I would say, like personally, the trend of that half for me was Arsenal playing really well in between the lines, but the last situation, the last actions on attack weren't quite the quality you needed.
No. Yeah, like they had some great, really great like give and go passes.
Yes.
And it felt really good to watch.
Really quick, one touch passing.
Really quick one touch passes. It was really, really good, and I was happy about that. It's a lot different, and that's why I like watching UCL games, because sometimes you get to see that
slightly
like, expansiveness. It's a different kind of game.
It's less. The games are less intense in a weird way, but there's much more time where the ball is in play, and two, where the ball is on the floor. So you get to see, like, typically your more technical players get to stand out in situations like that.
Yeah.
But overall, I don't think you did a bunch to score in that first half. Martinelli probably had the best chance in that half. But, like, overall, I think you wouldn't have felt too bad, at least for me, going into the second half in that game.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Leverkusen did a bunch either.
No, they didn't do. I mean, their focus was to take shots from outside the box. Like they had like 3 shots in zone 14, which was insane. Like that was their goal. Like take a long shot, catch a Raya off guard, and try to place it well.
Have fun with that.
Yeah, they only had 2 shots from inside the box, but like that was really what they were focusing on, which makes sense. Like they want to take a shot early and keep them guessing.
Yeah.
Another thing was like I felt like Saka was invisible in that game. Like I think most every single thing that he did was a back pass. He didn't progress the ball.
I agree with that, but I think that's because of how they set up. They set up to stifle that right side.
Yep.
And a lot of that is basically doubling or trebling up on Saka. Ultimately.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I think that's how a lot of the half goes. It's why Martinelli ends up getting a chance.
Yeah.
Because the play is so dragged to the right that when he finds himself open, he gets an opportunity. But like overall, first half in that game, like Arsenal edge it on XG. No one creates any big chances.
Nope.
To be honest, I was surprised that, at least for me, I was surprised that Leverkusen were competing in midfield. I would say Palacios is really good in the first half, especially. Yeah. Really good at dealing with kind of Rice's really direct kind of pick-up runs. But overall, I think as an Arsenal fan, I wouldn't have been too disappointed going into the second half, especially away from home.
Yeah, away from home. Like I think like keeping that in perspective, like Leverkusen have been really good at home overall, and really good in the last in recent history at home. So yeah, going into the second half, man, I hate it when I watch a goal scored on Arsenal and I think like that was a beautiful goal. Like, did you watch that restart and how well organized that was?
Yeah.
Like it was just like Arsenal were not ready for it at all. But the way that Leverkusen just kind of were ready and they knew what play that they were going to do, everyone knew exactly which man the ball was going to go to, and they delivered to get that corner was incredible. And then Arsenal were still like so flabbergasted they couldn't actually set up on the corner.
Yeah.
They lose Andrich because they don't know who's on who. They're so flustered, and he has basically a free header.
But like, this is the argument, though, isn't it? Should he have been on the pitch?
That's the thing.
He's the guy that gets the goal.
Yeah, he's the guy who gets the goal. Football is so crazy because, like, you have these moments where this guy who you think shouldn't be on the pitch gets his goal.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm not going to say he shouldn't have been on the pitch. I think if he had done one
neither
more
am I,
thing,
by the way.
Yeah.
But it's a contentious situation, isn't it? And like from my perspective, if that was against Liverpool and the guy that possibly could have been sent off scores the fucking goal, I'd feel a little bit hard done by that. But.
Yeah, and I think for me, like, I'm more upset that Arsenal let that go in that way, right? You're back in the second half. Like, what do you think? Like, where are your heads? Where are your heads in this game?
Focus.
Yeah, like, focus in.
He scores it basically 46 minutes.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's kind of like, I think Arsenal were a bit shell-shocked by Leverkusen's start.
Yeah.
You end up conceding. But for me, like, ultimately, I think from that period, Arsenal take control of the game.
Yeah, after that, I mean, Leverkusen are a lot less aggressive on counters. They're willing to, like, progress the ball slower. They're willing to hold on to the ball a little bit more. But Arsenal just cannot make connections. They keep making mistakes. Like, the Timber-Saliba relationship in this match seemed really off.
Yeah.
Which was surprising. And then, as you mentioned, like, Saka was in a 3v1 the entire
Constantly,
time.
Yeah.
And so, like, I saw a lot of stuff about Saka being just not in the game. In my Arsenal group chat, like Jeremiah was just like, man, Saka's just not in this game. So when I went to rewatch it, I was like, why is Saka not in the game? And I was like, it's 3-on-1.
Yeah.
Like that's just what's been going on.
And for me, like in scenarios like that, other players just have to step up.
Absolutely.
Like, maybe he is the main man, but if he's being 3-on-1, I look at it like if you think of Salah last season.
Yeah.
The reason Salah gets so many assists last season is because people are scared of him.
Yeah.
So he basically pulls players to him.
Yeah.
It's really difficult from Saka's perspective in that scenario to make like a big imprint on the game if he's basically 3-on-1 all the time.
Yeah.
Especially when his out ball is Jurriën Timber.
Exactly.
So
like Jurriën should have come up closer to him. Saliba could have come up closer, but they were cautious about the counter.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, this is the point where you need someone like Havertz, Odegaard, who will come up closer and actually like be that outlet. So yeah, I felt like in that moment, like it was a good decision to take Saka off.
Yeah.
As soon as Saka goes off and we have Madueke on, you actually see it's just a 2-on-1 now. Like you don't see the same kind of...
is considerably more aggressive as well.
Yeah, a lot more vertical.
Mainly because I think Saka has a tendency to want to cut back onto his left. But I think Madueke is really happy going to the byline.
Yeah.
And that is what decides the game, ultimately.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I feel like he comes in, Havertz comes in for Gyökeres, and you love to see when like a boyhood club player comes back and then the fans like cheer him, right? Like it's really cool to see that. That's like what football's about. But when he comes in, he becomes a better target in the box. He has more pressure on the back line.
So let's talk about Madueke. For me, I thought like as soon as he comes on, like as we just touched on, I thought Leverkusen adjusted to the idea of what Saka wanted to do in possession of the ball. And I mean, we know what Madueke is. He's very direct. And I think that really made a difference as soon as he came on.
Yeah, he comes on. They actually drop a defender off of Madueke. He's 2-1. Like, he does take the ball up there. There's that, like, he drops deep and then takes the ball all the way up. Like, his first action of the game, his first impactful action of the game, he drops it, he picks up the ball, he goes all the way to the top.
Mate, do you remember me saying this? I was like, they literally just let him run from their half.
They do it over.
They do.
It's not just Leverkusen. He does it against every team.
Yeah.
Like, it's incredible. Like, that he just like, I'm confident enough to take this ball all the way from our half to the next half, and I will create some kind of action. Yeah, no goal from that, but then, he comes in and in the 85th minute.
In the
85th minute, he gets into the box, he cuts in, and there's been a lot of debate on this, and I don't think that's a PK. Like,
it's tough.
In the moment, like, it's not, but here's the thing, and here's what I've heard. The first hit on the bottom of his foot, not enough. He leaves his foot dragging, and that's kind of like part of the game now, right? To make it look like he got fouled. And when the ref calls it as a penalty, it goes into VAR. VAR has a decision to make. and they say and VAR doesn't say it's a penalty or not. Is it a clear and obvious error?
That's the difficulty, isn't it? So, like, from my perspective, my opinion is as soon as you leave a foot in, it's not a penalty. He goes down. There's a delay when he goes down. I saw Jeremiah saying he's that fast. He gets caught. Bollocks. He knows exactly what he's doing.
Absolutely. He sold that penalty. He's the best person to sell that penalty. Saka could not do that.
No.
Saka cannot do that.
Because he's probably not running in that way on the outside. Yeah. But, like, his directness gets him into that position.
Yeah.
And look, the defender goes to ground. Should he go to ground there? Probably not. Yeah. He actually has cover on the inside of him. So, like, it's just a silly decision to go to ground there.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I don't think it's a pen. I understand why it's given as a pen. Yeah. The referee shouldn't call it as a pen to begin with.
Yeah.
Because then what VAR has to do is they have to try and disprove it. There is contact, so they're going to say it's a penalty. Practically finished, though.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Havertz taking it, I was... At first I was surprised, but then it made sense. Like, it has to be Havertz. Did you watch Havertz take the pen?
Yeah, good pen.
It was a good pen. I was really nervous that it was that close to the keeper.
Yeah. He puts it in a position where the keeper, if he's going to save it, it's a wonder save.
Yeah.
At least for me. I think 1-1. I wouldn't say 1-1 flatters Arsenal on the day, because I don't think Leverkusen really did enough to be like the outright winner of the game, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But I think going back to the Emirates, you have to be kind of confident with the 1-1 situation.
Yeah, I think 1-1 was a good result for Arsenal away at this stage.
Yeah.
Take it back home, show them what you can do at home. It's really funny. I think Arsenal was coming out to play a European team, and they faced a mid-table Premier League team in the way that Leverkusen actually set up. Like, they were really, overall, like, they weren't prepared to play that game. They thought they were going to come into a totally different game, and Leverkusen, I think, really just surprised them.
Yeah, I think Leverkusen were much more combative than everyone expected them to line up. But I think they do a good job at, like, stopping what Arsenal do as threats. When I think of Arsenal, I think of second-man runs. I think of balls looping from either side to back post.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that they line up as a 3, out of possession, they're basically a 5.
Yeah.
And I think they do really well dealing with those scenarios.
Yeah.
Would have been a bit of a travesty, I think, for Arsenal to lose that game.
Yeah.
But they don't. And they go back to the Emirates with a pretty distinct advantage for me.
Yeah.
For me to say Leverkusen could go through, they need a 2 or 3 goal lead coming into that second leg.
Yeah. I think this next match will be really good. I think Leverkusen will want to come out quickly. I think I was surprised with Kafane overall. Like, I was surprised how good he, like a teenager doing that good, like causing troubles for Saliba. I think generally, like, there are very few defenders, center backs in the Premier League who could handle that kind of player. And I think Saliba did really well overall. Kafane had he wasn't great on the XG. He was a 1.3 XG. Both his shots were outside the box. But his pass accuracy was a 94% for a forward at 17 total passes.
If you think of, like, the passages of play where Kafana was effective, I think it's when... So, like, I don't look at either of your centre-backs. I'll be honest with you. I don't look at either of your centre-backs as great at defending in space. When you have a guy as physical as that, and he is, like, Kafana, 6'2". If he's taking the ball to his feet and Saliba is behind him, that's typically where, at least for me, where Saliba, he's a little less effective. Saliba is incredibly effective facing guys that want to stand you up one-on-one. Like, he's really good at getting in between the ball and the carrier and just marshalling out, using, like, sweepers to his advantage. I think Kafane did quite well. Ultimately, not well enough.
Yeah, I think like, overall, like, Arsenal drew the game. They set themselves up for the second round at home, and I think, like, they'll have to go in and they'll have to, like, prove that this is where they want to go. I think there was a lot of rotation in this initial game. You know, 4 fronts, right? You have to be able to rotate your team,
especially with where you are as a team.
Yeah,
I think, like, Arsenal have gotten to the position in the last couple of seasons, especially with the way they've signed, and they haven't. We always talk about this. You don't sell players. You've built, like, for me, the most complete squad in Europe.
Yeah.
Where I think you could rotate like 6 or 7 players a game and still have like a team good enough to win on the pitch. You can see that going into the game in the weekend too.
Yeah.
Still pretty rotated, but I think any Arsenal fan won't. Dude, it's Europe. You can't expect to win every game. Drawing away from home isn't that bad. I expect Arsenal to win. I'm not going to say emphatically, but Arsenal will win the second leg.
Yeah, Arsenal went up against the most recent Invincibles and did okay. Like, that team did get picked apart, but I think...
we took their best guy.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
2 of their best guys. So
we gave them one of their best guys.
Yeah, fair.
But that's I think I'm excited for what this week brings ahead for both of our sides. I'm glad that we both have home games in the UCL. I think it'll be good for both sides, and excited to talk about that. But any other thoughts on UCL?
Ultimately, I expect Arsenal and Liverpool to go through. If Liverpool don't go through here, we'll touch on the manager in a little bit.
Yeah.
I have my own opinions on the manager at this stage, but Liverpool cannot lose to Galatasaray at home. I'm serious. Even like a draw isn't a good enough result at this stage, so we'll see how it goes. But let's get on to Arsenal versus Everton. Let's talk about the lineups first. So
absolutely.
Arsenal, they rotate. So Havertz come in, Madueke comes in. Actually, Madueke on the left was a big surprise.
Yeah, that was a surprise for me as well.
Yeah.
I was curious to see how that would actually interact on the left side when you have Havertz there and Eze, who started on in the middle. When they started,
typically left side bias.
He's usually left side bias, and actually, because Havertz started, I actually thought that Havertz was going to play the 10 and Eze was going to play up top.
Yeah,
which they kind of did rotate that a little bit. You can almost. It was almost like a 4-2-2-2. When I was watching, I was like, yeah, this is definitely a 4-2-2-2. And then Everton, they set up as expected. McNeil's been getting more minutes. I know that he was trying to get away and get more minutes, but Grealish got injured. And so McNeil has kind of started back up.
Grealish, in retrospect, is a bit of a brutal injury for them.
Oh, absolutely.
So, actually, I'll give you a statistic here, kind of away from what we have as an agenda. Ndiaye is the most effective dribbler in the Premier League. He is, man.
Yeah?
Statistically, and eye test. He is so good at driving with the ball. And you see several times in this game where he picks up the ball in, like, potentially dangerous areas for Everton, gets loose, like wriggles free, gets them in comfortable positions. Having Grealish over that other side would be huge for them. The difference between Grealish and McNeil, I like McNeil. He is not the same quality as carrying the ball as Grealish. And you can see it. Like, a lot of the game, they struggle to get out Everton, as you would expect, ultimately, facing the Arsenal at home.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the first half? Like, I think the first half was a really weird game.
Yeah, it was a really weird game. I will say, when the first half kicked off, it was very exciting for me because it felt like Arsenal was playing football again. And Everton gave them the chance. And I was so happy that it felt like good football in the first, 20 minutes overall.
Yeah.
They had a lot of really quick play. In the 7th minute, there's this moment when the ball's congested up at the corner flag. It becomes relational football versus possessional football, right? And we talked about this before.
Yeah.
And it was quick balls, getting it out. You get out of the corner, and then it's a cross in. And it was just it was good football to watch.
Yeah.
Which I've missed, really, watching Arsenal. Watching UCL.
I find it mad. Like, you're top of the league.
Yeah.
You're obviously the best team in the Premier League.
Yeah.
I don't use the term obviously loosely. Like, you are. But it's like the way you've gone about it is different to what Arsenal DNA in the past has been.
Yeah.
But I think that's also what makes you so good as a team. Because a lot of this game, Everton cannot create chances inside your box. They cannot do it.
No.
You basically strangle them from outside your box.
Yeah. Yeah, there are 2 opportunities inside the box, but both of them were off target. But those chances outside the box, I was so nervous. McNeil's chance that hit the post, I thought that was going in.
They have a phase, don't they? It's like a 5-minute spell in the game where I think they create a couple of decent chances. What's the XG on those? Actually, they're classed as big chances, so they missed 2 big chances in the first half.
Yeah.
I don't know, so the McNeil one is definitely a big chance.
Yeah, McNeil one. The XG on McNeil is 0.02 overall. And then the big chances that they had inside the box was McNeil's inside the box was 0.29, so but it was blocked. That was Calafiori doing the donkey kick and stopping it, and I was just like, I thought that Raya saved it, and then in the replay it was like, wow, Calafiori.
I think in Jai, who gets the chance after, he should score.
Yeah.
Big let off for Arsenal. It was that period of time.
Yeah.
If Everton were ever going to get anything from the game for me, they had to take advantage of this 5-minute spell.
Yeah.
And they failed to.
They had 3 shots between the 17th minute and the 18th minute.
Yeah.
2 of them were off target. One of them was off target. One of them was blocked. That's the one by Calafiori, and the other one was McNeil hitting the post. Yeah. In that moment, I felt very, very nervous overall on what was happening. And then later on, there is. And here's the dichotomy of football, right? We just talked about Madueke's penalty, and we're like, that was not a penalty. And then Kai Havertz, he gets stepped on, hand on the back. How is that not a penalty in this league?
That's a pen for me. I remember messaging you after I watched the game back.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a Stonewall penalty. I can't see a scenario where that isn't typically given as a penalty.
Yeah.
I don't know what they think in that period. Why would you not give that as a penalty? The defender stands on his foot.
Yeah.
It's so blatantly obvious.
And how does VAR not see that?
I don't know.
How does VAR not say hey, go check this?
I really don't know.
And a part of it, maybe it's penalty karma. This is the same ref who gave that red card against Virgil van Dijk. He gave 2 penalties in the last match that he played. So is there direction saying hey, you're giving away too much?
Is the red card against Van Dijk against Newcastle?
Sorry, no, not Van Dijk. Oh my gosh,
Van Lecroix.
Tottenham player. I've had so many beers today. Van de Ven, thank you. Yeah, he gave the red card against Van de Ven.
Yeah.
And he gave
definite red card, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely, because Spurs. And then and he gave 2 pens in the last game.
That's kind of wild, yeah.
So is he being told don't call this game a little bit more?
Yeah, but judge the game on its situation,
Yeah.
That's a fucking pen. At least for me. I was actually blown away by that wasn't reviewed by VAR and given.
Yeah.
He stands on his foot.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's a crazy decision.
Yeah, I think it was insane. And then leading up right after that, Timber had an injury earlier. Timber was playing this, Arsenal was playing the kind of, I think, positionality they want to play, where Timber is coming up and playing the front line, which was really, really good. He was creating more opportunities for Saka to play wide. Saliba, I don't like Saliba coming in and taking crosses from the edge of the 18. But when Timber gets to play those advanced positions, gets to the byline, cuts back, he does really well. He can finish generally well, for the amount of space he has.
You know how I feel about this, man. A centre back, because Timber is a centre back.
Yeah,
he shouldn't be in those positions.
But he's playing a right back.
But I understand why he does it. So for the listeners, we have these conversations sometimes where Timber often is in the best positions every one of your games.
Yeah.
Because people are so scared of Saka.
Yeah.
You put an actual right back in that situation. Imagine putting Reece James in 30.
Jeez.
With a bunch of space. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the reason why Timber is there is because if Saka loses the ball, Timber is getting that back.
Yeah, he definitely is. Timber, if we were in the early 2000s, maybe even late 2010s, would be a fucking forward.
Yeah, he would.
He would be a forward because of the way that he dribbles, the way that he holds onto the ball.
He's technically very good.
Yeah.
And I'll always give him credit for that. I think he's a very well-rounded football player.
Yeah.
My argument, though, is he's still not good in the final third. I'm not having it.
Yeah, okay.
So, when he's literally inverted in half spaces.
Yeah.
The right back is in half spaces.
Yeah.
I'm not having it. In half spaces, you want your most dangerous players. That's where fucking Martin Odegaard should be.
Oh, yeah.
Guys like that. Timber, what he should be doing is what Ben White was doing 3 years ago. Be a decoy on the outside. Fear me on the outside. If I see Timber in half spaces as a defensive situation is the opposition team, I'm fantastic. Because he's not really going to hurt us much from this position. Yeah. And you can see, he has such dangerous positions. Yes, he has outliers where he does really well, but for me, no. He's not good enough in possession to do it.
Yeah.
Incisive is the word.
Yeah.
He is tidy in possession. He keeps the ball really well. He passes really well.
When he loses the ball or he loses the tackle, he goes back and gets the ball back.
And he will always do that.
Yeah.
But that is the whole setup of Arsenal.
Yeah.
It's like Calafiori will invert into these types of positions.
Yeah.
Because I know as soon as fucking Madueke in that game, or as soon as Martinelli loses the ball, you have a fucking combative defender to win the ball back up high. You want to strangle people in their own area. I completely get it.
Yeah.
But like from my perspective, these are where like the most dangerous players on the football pitch should have time and space. Fullbacks, your fullbacks specifically, are not. Like that's my soapbox on that. But
he goes off. I saw Ben White getting ready, and I love Benjamin White. I love that kid. He was getting ready to come on, but Mosquera came on instead. I imagine that's because they probably were like, hey, let's say if this is bad for Timber, let's save Benjamin for midweek against UCL.
Do you know anything about the injury?
Timber? I don't know what it was, but it looked like an ankle thing. It could be. I don't think it's long-term. I think he'll need some rest. He's been playing at that position, so I think that as I think about it now, like I think that's where they brought Mosquera in. They're like, hey, let's just bring in Mosquera. He's good on the right side as a right center back. We have Saliba to support as well. But like Mosquera did decently when he came in and was able to hold up overall. And then at that point, like our attack kind of just falls off at the end of the first half, and we kind of go into the second half of the game. It's not generally a great start. Really like passive, and Everton's thinking, yeah, let's get a point here. They drop into the block. Completely different structure in the second half.
I noticed that. They stopped like playing forward quickly.
Yeah.
And I feel they are very deep. For me, the way to beat Arsenal is not playing like that.
No.
You have to be brave.
Yeah.
Because of how Arsenal approaches
Leverkusen.
rest defense. Yeah. The goal that you guys eventually score is just, at least for me. Although I'm a Liverpool fan, fuck Pickford, dude. Like, Pickford is the guy that creates that goal for you. But good for Gyökeres to be there. What we need to do, I'm not even an Arsenal fan, but we need to glaze Dalman a little bit. He deserves it.
Absolutely. Like real quick before we go and glaze Dalman. Nkapie comes in for Calafiori.
Yes.
And he does the thing that you were talking about earlier.
Yes.
He has that overlapping run. He has that cross in just like he did.
Because he can do that.
Because he can do that. He knows how to position the ball. Pickford had a great first half, had a shit second half. And the thing is, like, Pickford can have really good games, but he can also, like, fuck up pretty immensely. He did that.
I think he always has a clanger in him, man.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
Like, he can make, like, genuinely worldy saves.
Yeah.
But he has these weird situations of decision-making, which are like, what did you just do?
Yeah.
What a ridiculous thing to do. And when you have short arms, you can't be making those mistakes, man.
Yeah.
And he does. And Gyökeres basically scores on the goal line.
Oh, absolutely. He's in the perfect position. He's in the place that we want a striker to be, and it's finally working.
He gets off his marker.
Yeah.
And finishes.
He had a .91 XG, .99 XGOT. We talk about XGOT a lot.
We do.
What does XGOT mean to you? What is XGOT?
For me, XGOT is the parameter you measure finishes at. So, like, let's say if a chance is... I mean, in this scenario, we'll use this as very loosely XGOT because of how high the XG is.
Yeah.
But, like, if good finishes multiply XG to create XGOT.
Yeah.
So, like, 0.3 XG, if you finish 0.6, 0.7 XGOT, you finish that emphatically. At least for me, that's the way I look at it. He is where he needs to be.
Yeah.
And to be fair, like I found a lot of the game when Arsenal were playing forward quickly, Gyökeres did a really good job in the sense that defenders, when you're one-on-one with Gyökeres, he's going to put his ass on you and he's going to make it really uncomfortable. I'd say, like, although we can judge his overall tenure in the Premier League, what he's done very well is win defensive duels when he has his back to goal. And he does that consistently throughout the game, and he gets rewarded with a goal eventually. That's on Pickford for me, though, man. Like, that is pure Pickford.
That was Pickford running to the ball rather than trusting his defense to get rid.
Like, what are you playing at?
If Pickford was in the center of the pitch he probably could have picked up that ball before it landed to.
He's just so overzealous.
Yeah.
I kind of don't understand it, but
yeah,
you know,
let's glaze Max Dowman.
Vince's team. Let's glaze Dowman. So Max Dowman comes in. I think is the difference maker in the game.
Absolutely.
And I said to you, I think I always say this to you. I think what Arsenal lack a lot of the time is a guy that just takes the ball and is like, well, I understand what you want me to do with it, but that's not what I'm going to do with it.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a bit of ownership of this situation and just create.
Yeah, there's that creativity in football, the individualism in football that he still has. Like, he is there to play the game. He's not there necessarily to stick to structure. And if you think about Odegaard, he wants to do what the manager tells him to do.
Yep.
Saka now is doing, as the captain, is doing what the manager tells him to do.
Yep.
And as the Maverick, Max comes in, he's like, I know what the direction is, but I want to play football.
I want to create some chances here.
Yeah.
And he does.
Yeah, he does, incredibly.
He kind of puts them in situations, at least for me, where, man, they haven't dealt with it all game. And he gives them something completely different.
Yep.
And he ends up, he scores. Youngest scorer in the Premier League history.
Yes.
So he scores.
Yeah.
But what he does before that creates the opening for the goal. Yeah. At least for me. Like, the flash across the box to allow Hincapié to put the ball in.
Yeah.
Need more of that.
Second assist, yeah. Like, he does a lot of work in that first goal, and we don't talk about that enough because of, like, the second, like, last-minute goal. Arsenal's had a couple of these, and, like, they rightfully take advantage of it. Pickford comes up for the corner. Martinelli gets ahead to the ball to Max Dowman. Max Dowman has a great dribble. So like, how does this kid, like, take it right?
Really tidy feet.
Yeah, tidy feet. And he does, the way that he scores the goal is really great. And I think it was great for him to have that first goal.
Yeah.
But as I rewatched that, I watched Martinelli, who is ahead of him, drops back in case he needs that support, and then he looks over and he sees the defender, and he changes his run completely. He does. I don't want this goal. This is Max's goal.
Yeah.
And he blocks off the defender, both defenders, and Max gets the goal. Max doesn't do it. Like, Max could have literally walked it in.
Yeah, he could.
He went into the middle of the 18, and he's like, I'll put it in. Like, such a good head on him to put in the right place. And then, like, it's a wonderful goal. Very good goal. Yeah. Excited for him.
He takes advantage of his situation, and that's what young players need to do, man. Remember Wayne Rooney against Arsenal?
Oh my God, yeah.
Young players, they come in and they they take advantage of those situations.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. We're in a brewery, so they're brewing beer on a Sunday. Poor brewers, but like, takes advantage of his situation.
Yeah.
Man. And that's really, I feel the injection of him and how he played the game is really what you needed in that scenario.
Yeah.
And you end up coming away with a 2-0 victory. Everton, for me, in the second half, don't get a sniff. They're shit. They don't do anything. Very similar to that first game. I remember when I think of how Arsenal play, I used that second half at Hill Dicky or whatever they fucking call it now. I use that as the barometer for who Arsenal are in terms of identity as a football team.
Yeah.
You don't play great in the second half at Hill Dicky, but you keep them away from your goal. They do not get a sniff in front of goal.
Yeah, we get a penalty in the first half, and we just control the ball the entire time.
And that's like, you did a lot of that this game, but you have that the kid coming who shines. And Arsenal 2-0. How do you feel about the title chances now?
It felt good. Being 9 points ahead of a City who then draw against West Ham.
Yeah.
Like, even with the game in hand, that means we have 6 points, which means even if we lose to City, if we win every single other game,
you win the league.
If we lose 2 games but win everything else, we win the league on goal difference, unless City makes something incredible on goal difference, which they could against us. I'm hopeful. I think it'd be really great if we can win it, but I don't believe. I'm a stats guy. Until it's proven in the numbers, I'm not going to believe it.
So, I understand the trauma. I do, because until last season, I had a bunch of it.
Yeah.
Until it was done, I wasn't willing to accept that it was done because of how much I've been bitten in the ass before.
I think last season in December, I was like, Jack, we're going to win the league. And you're like, no, it's not going to happen yet.
Finished yet.
And you're like, Arsenal's going to come back. City's going to come back. And I was like, nah, you got this league. But, yeah.
But now, from the outside, I think it's finished. I really do. City have such hard fixtures coming up, man, that I'm not looking at them in a situation where I don't feel they can rally in the league. I really don't. I think they need to prioritize what they're in.
Yeah.
We play them in the Carabao Cup final in a week or two, and I think that is really the tell.
Yeah.
If you beat them, and I think you will, because you're better than them. If you beat them, I think that buries them. They're about to go out of the Champions League as well. They're not beating Madrid.
Yeah, the 3-0. They're not going to beat Madrid at home.
So
no remontada.
They've kind of been battered into submission to a degree, and Arsenal are the beneficiaries of that. But I think the way Arsenal consistently, we can look at offensive performances and say they don't do enough, but it's not about that. For me, it's about like knowing what you have to do as an objective, and it's winning the games.
Yeah.
And you do everything to win the games. City, on the other hand, when I see Jared Bowen counter them again and again and again and again, something is coming. City, yesterday, they concede off the only chance that they concede ultimately. And I think it's finished, personally. I understand why you're not willing to say it yet, but I think it's finished. Arsenal win at the Emirates 2-0. Emphatic win, at least for me. And on the outside, I know what those wins are. Going for the title, you win in the last fucking minute, pure bedlam. Like, that's what football is about, really.
Yeah.
Fully deserved.
Yeah.
Everton did nothing in that second half. If it had ended 0-0, it would have because Everton didn't want you to win the game, but they didn't. They gave you nothing in the second half.
Yeah.
And emphatic victory, ultimately. And I think that's what leads to the title for Arsenal. At least for me.
I think this is one of those game weeks that is like a title decider kind of game week. When you go to a relegation side and you can't win against a relegation side while your opponent plays a mid-table team that's fighting for European for a European spot.
And last game week, they dropped points against Forest.
Yeah.
You guys stink it up against Brighton, but you win the game. And that you do what you have to do.
Yeah.
I think that's what matters, ultimately.
Yeah.
Arsenal, league champions. He's not going to say it yet, but I am. Liverpool versus Tottenham. Let's get into this fucking shit show from the Reds. Spurs are without so many big players here, Ben.
It's wild, man.
Liverpool have no excuse to not win this game. So I'll read it out to you. They have some long-term injuries of what I think are their best players. So Maddison, Kulusevski, and Kudus, all out. Romero, concussion. Van de Ven, out. Polina, out. Udogie, out. Bentancur, out. Odegaard, out.
You know what's really... Sorry.
No, carry on.
What's really funny is once we get to Paulina and we go to Udogie, Bentancur, and Odegaard, those are the backups to the starters. And they are now out.
And they are out. They line up with a back three of Dragusin, Danzo, and Porro.
When I saw Danzo, I was like, I have not seen Danzo in a minute, dude.
He's a backup. Like, he's a distinct backup. Back three of Dragusin, Danzo, and Porro. Liverpool should punish that.
Yeah. The
game ends 1-1. We'll get into that in a minute. Liverpool, they do rotate in this game, but, like, how much of a fucking difference does it make? Gomez in for Konate, Robertson in for Kirkez. Frimpong starts, which I want to see.
Frimpong starts in a right wing.
He does.
Which I actually was really happy about. Yeah. I thought that was a good position change for him.
I hate that shit.
Yeah?
He's not a right winger.
He's not.
He doesn't have enough end product to be a right winger. But this is what Liverpool have done to themselves. You understand? The fact that he is the backup there is a fucking disgrace for me.
Yeah.
Like, we don't even have a Madueke to bring off the bench. Like, a guy that can trouble defenders. Frimpong can trouble defenders, but he's not scoring goals, man.
Yeah.
So he's there. Ekitike out. Gakpo actually starts up front, but Vert starts off the left. I've told you how much I hate that. Salah out for Rio Ngumoa, who I think is our best player on the day. Let's get into the first half. Liverpool, I think, start in a sloppy way. We are facing a Tottenham team who are struggling, man. They have no belief. They haven't won a game in 12. We give them a bunch of situations where it's like, please counter-attack us. And they fail in that first half. They don't do really well. Liverpool, though, sloppy, have a bunch of territorial dominance. We have 70% possession really early on. Like I said, the biggest takeaway for me was Rio Ngumoa. Absolutely burnt Pedro Porro pretty much on every chance he got. He is such a gifted dribbler 1v1. He reminds me of Jeremy Doku. So gifted. When he stands people up, Spurs defending in like this 4-4-2 mid low block. I remember commenting even in the second half, where we basically said all 11 players are in Liverpool's box, which is what it is. I felt like the trend throughout most of that first half was Liverpool chewing on the ball and not really taking advantage of situations that they get where they can just fucking shoot. Wirtz does it a lot of times, just looking for 10 out of 10 chances, ultimately.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I've seen a bunch this year where Liverpool are doing that, and it doesn't typically end well, Ben.
It's weird that you're, like, in my mind, Liverpool are a fast-paced, counterattacking, like, team, right? Like, that's how you get goals. You're not a team, and I don't think Liverpool is really set up in the way to control the game on the other side of the pitch.
This is the argument now. Why do you sign Florian Wirtz?
Yeah.
Because he's there to do that.
Yeah.
But, like, early in the game, we do that. We have a bunch of territorial dominance. They can't get out Spurs. Mainly because of lack of quality. Our press is shocking.
Yeah.
Shocking. Off the ball, Liverpool this year have been, I'll use the word, shit. Salah is a passenger. He didn't even start.
Yeah.
But, like, he's our typical starter on the right side. He doesn't do anything off the ball.
Gakpo is not a presser.
So who do you have?
I mean, you have Frimpong, but, like, he's not really pressing. He's more of, like...
So it's like, they're caught in between two stools constantly, out of possession.
Yeah.
Do we press? Do we sit in? Ultimately, they decide to press. And even Spurs, who are, like, so low on confidence at times, they play out against us.
Yeah.
It's fucking infuriating to watch for me.
Yeah.
Spurs defend, like I said, in that 4-4-2 mid-block. Pretty much a low block at times. No shade to them. They're at Anfield. They have a terrible record at Anfield. They need to do that. And we let them do that.
Yeah.
Liverpool, we have like these situations where I feel we create like lots of half chances. It's just like the last pass is off consistently.
Yeah,
but,
there's a lot of times when like the ball could have been placed a little bit more precisely and it just wasn't.
And that's really where the issue lies, you know? Like I feel a lot of it comes down to Liverpool being too lax on the ball. I've criticized them already for what I feel they do in a lot of first half of games. I feel they coast for first half of games where they don't do enough first half and they come out second half. Basically, it's like, oh, we create like a new scenario, really. It's 0-0 at halftime. We can come out and be really aggressive in that situation. But like, we do score in the first half at 18 minutes, and like that goal, we know how good Szoboszlai is for free kicks. In fact, at halftime, we see a reel of his free kicks this season. This was the worst. Vicario should have saved that.
Vicario was incredibly poor in that free kick.
The X-Scott out there is lower than the XG. Typically, if you get it on target,
that's wild.
Yeah. So the XG is 0.03, and the X-Scott is 0.02.
So the way I see like X-Scott is like an inverse to XG.
Yeah.
And so like when I see an XG, I say like, hey, that's a really hard shot to take from that area. X-Scott is how clinical your finishing is. So when an X-Scott is lower than XG, that means that like you kind of just put it in a place that could have been saved.
It's on target.
Yeah, it's on target and it could have been saved. So like having a lower X-Scott off of an XG means that it's, to me, a defensive error.
Yeah, and it was. He should save that. Yeah. Any goalkeeper worth their salt saves that. So we go 1-0 up and we're fortunate. The only really other situation in that half that we get is a great save from Vicario. McAllister does really well to like wriggle himself free and like lay it off for Gakpo. I don't think Gakpo could do better in that scenario. It's a great finish, like great shot.
Yeah.
Vicario like tips it onto the post. Really good save. I can't
really good save. I honestly thought, when I first saw that, I thought it was just like off target and hit the post. And then I was like, wow, fingertip save.
But it's like, so I encourage any fan, not even Liverpool fans, if you're listening to this, look at Liverpool's chances in that first half. And you tell me where we create chances from dangerous positions in that first half. It doesn't happen. It's constantly overplaying. Another pass. And that is on a slots football. It's pedestrian and it is slow. I will say, Wirtz gets several situations where he opens up his body and should just Florian, shoot. Yeah. But he doesn't do it. Another pass. And ultimately, the note I have down here is a lot of nothing from LFC. And they do this constantly, a lot of nothing. They coast in first half of games. So where they come out in second half and they typically they typically perform better. I don't know if I saw that in the first half. I'll tell you this. These are the stats of the first half. Liverpool create 0.6 XG. At home, they have 2 shots on target, same as Tottenham, by the way. And Tottenham, I would argue, they don't have the XG, but like the chances they get, one is placed a bit too high for Richarlison in the 6-yard box. He could probably do better, but it's not a great cross. Liverpool, they're not creating great chances against shit teams at home, and they're shit. They've not won a game in 12. They're shit. But Liverpool can't do it. Yeah. Go into the second half, more the same.
In the second half, Liverpool does have almost double the shots.
Yeah.
6 in the first, 11 in the second.
0 big chances.
Zero big chances. I mean, Ngoma has a couple of good shots. He had a pretty good shot from outside the box.
I'd like to highlight what Rio Ngoma is. Like, he is so unlike the rest of our wingers in the sense that he stands up a man and he beats them.
Yeah. You know, Jack, you always talk about you want a winger who can beat their man.
Yeah.
Do you think that's what Rio is going to be for you?
Yes, but like, he can't be relied upon. He's 17.
Yeah.
He for me, the way you should use Rio, Liverpool 3-0 up, and bring him Rio and Gamoa. A bit of freedom.
Yeah.
Play some football.
Yeah.
The fact that he starts, this is his first Premier League start.
Yeah.
And he is the obvious best fucking attacker we have.
Yeah.
It's a serious problem for me. Second half comes basically more of the same in the second half. I think Liverpool early in that second half do a good job in like penning Spurs in. I think at times they do that well in the first half, but like the ease of that Spurs' back three can play through Liverpool's press shows for me like a pure disconnection in how we are pressing as a structure. And it's shit, Ben. It's bad. 63 minutes, Liverpool make a triple substitution, which they don't do a lot. Jones comes on for what probably would be Florian Wirtz. Frimpong comes on. Frimpong comes off for Salah. And then Ekitike comes on to basically play striker.
Yeah.
Does it change a lot? I don't think so.
I was surprised, like, when Ekitike came on, I was like, this is Liverpool's game now. Like, Ekitike's going to have a good strike. He's going to have something happen for him.
Yeah.
But Ekitike was playing like blonde soccer, like couldn't finish it.
Plenty of times where he gets the ball kind of coming in behind, which I typically favour Liverpool in those situations. Not this season. Liverpool in transition this season are a joke.
Yeah.
And they constantly have overloads in transition.
They've been 4-on-2, 4-on-1, and they can't finish it.
I look at it as brain rot. Lack of confidence. No one makes incisive or decisive decisions. It's all like, I'll hold it. And then the last situations, they don't do what they need to do. 70 onwards in the first half, so nothing really happens for 25 minutes. Same situation, scrappy. Liverpool have a half chance. They squander it because they're not good enough in possession. 70 minutes, the game starts to turn into basketball, where Spurs are given onus to attack Liverpool.
Yeah.
And I'd even say, like, throughout a lot of the first half, they have situations where they regain the ball up high because we're fucking crap at build-up.
Yeah.
And they do nothing with it. Like, it's terrible. Second half, though, they start to pick up the ball in midfield a lot more, and they start to threaten us. But, like, even then, they don't create great chances until Muani comes on for Tottenham. Virgil basically stares at Muani as he does fucking kick-ups in our box. That's basically what he's doing.
Yeah.
Richarlison runs through up the left. He finishes really well to make it 1-1. But I'll tell you this. From 65-minute onwards, Liverpool generate 6 XG.
Jesus.
After making subs, by the way, like your main striker comes on, Salah comes on. Why are you so shit in that period? Like, why? Another thing I want to touch on is McAllister was subbed off at 90. The drop-off that guy has had this year. And I think it has a lot to do with how we pressed as a team last year. I think losing Luis Diaz and he gets a bunch of banter, Darwin Núñez.
Yeah.
Players that are direct and aggressive. We've lost that. So we don't have any of that in our forward line. A bunch of our forward line now is slow, technical players.
Yeah.
So, like, pressing off the ball, we're not particularly great at it. Especially if you think of Klopp's Liverpool, I think of aggressive gegenpressing, counter-pressing. And this Liverpool team is not made to do it. What do you think?
Yeah, when you think about McAllister, he played for De Zerbi De Zerbi, right? De Zerbi is Brentford. He was really good there. He was able to work on the transition, make like artificial transitions. And he needs a very vertical player in front of him because he does well with that. And he doesn't have that right now. I think if you had Isak, that probably could have worked a little better because of how vertical Isak is. But he definitely is reliant on a very vertical pressing team.
I think he needs goal winners in the midfield.
Yeah.
Szoboszlai
ball
is
carriers.
That. Yeah, definitely. Although at times I think he does quite well dribbling in this game.
Yeah.
He wins us the free kick that we scored from. But like, I'll give you some perspective. So off the ball, it's really where McAllister has struggled this year. He was subbed off at 90. He has a 17% dual win rate, which is so bad. He wins 2 out of 12 duels. With Spurs' midfield, it's just not good enough.
No.
And like, Gravenberch isn't a 6. I'll say that immediately.
Yeah.
He did it really well last year because we had much more balance out of possession. Liverpool knew what they were doing last year out of possession because we would either go into a 4-2-4 mid-block or we would press really high. As soon as that fails, we'd fall into a mid-block. This year, for me, it looks like the players don't know really what they're doing in those types of situations, and they leave a bunch of space. Game ends 1-1. Another goal conceded in injury time. Hey, man. Liverpool have now broken the record for goals conceded in injury time.
That's wild.
Pain. At least for me, it's pain.
Wild.
I will definitively say, and I said this to Ben earlier, and it's not even me being emotional, I would get rid of the manager now. I think it's finished.
Yeah.
Spurs come to Anfield broken.
Yeah.
They don't win in 12, and we give them a point, like an easy point. Disgraceful to me. The game ends 1-1. I'll be honest, right? We don't need to win this game, but we should be winning this game. I think we finished the day in 5th with 1 point over Chelsea. We have a difficult run-in near the end of the season where we play a bunch of the other teams going for Champions League spots. I'm not confident, Ben. They've made a fucking pig's ear of it in the British way of putting it. In the second half, Liverpool create 1.21 XG. Most of that XG is created before 65 minutes. Create no big chances because that's what we do. 11 shots, but only 2 on target. It's just turgid, passive, one more pass football, and I don't want to see that from Liverpool. I really don't. I would get rid of him now if I had the choice. I really would. And I don't want to appear like reactionary. I've seen this too many times already. I don't know what's gone on. In fact, I know what's gone on to a degree. They've got rid of a bunch of players that they felt were surplus to requirements, and they weren't surplus to requirements.
No.
They basically damaged the squad, and it's not all on Arna. It's not. But like, Spurs come to Anfield broken, man. They're broken. I see them lose 4-1 to Palace at home.
Yeah.
Half of their fucking stadium leaves.
Yeah.
And you give them encouragement. Because Liverpool are addicted to giving teams encouragement, man. And we end up drawing the game. It should never have been a draw. We have plenty of chances to create better situations in the attacking third, and we don't do it. Fucking trend of our season. And now this is where we are. We are 1 point ahead of Chelsea now.
Yeah.
With same games played. We play them and we play United. We play Villa. We have the opportunity still to grab the ball by the horns and get Champions League football.
Yeah.
But this is a team that spent 500 million in the summer. This is a team that break the British transfer record twice. It's not fucking good enough.
Yeah.
He needs to go. At least for me. I want to see him gone.
Yeah.
We've been turgid. We've been pedestrian at times. Thank you, Arna, but enough is enough.
Arne did a good job playing Klopp's team, Klopp's football. He was able to adapt to the overall structure, but when he's playing his own football, it's not working.
But like, he sells the players that can make an impact in that style of football.
Yeah.
His style is so predicated. You see it again and again today.
Yeah.
Side to side. Wingers facing people up 1v1. You sell the fucking winger we have that can beat people 1v1. Like, and he goes to fucking Bayern and is one of the best in the world at the moment.
Yeah.
Crazy decision for me. Yeah. I understand. And like, as a Liverpool fan, I look at it and be like, am I sad about, when it happened, I wasn't sad about getting 75 million for Diaz. I was.
Yeah.
You have to replace that guy.
Yeah.
And they don't. And they've suffered for it for the whole of this season. It's where you're bringing on fucking Chiesa when you need impact off the bench.
Yeah.
It's just not good enough, man.
Can't replace them with a 17-year-old.
And that's where we are.
Yeah.
Liverpool draw the game 1-1. Fair enough to Tottenham, I thought. And I'll give Tottenham some credit. I think Tottenham at stages in this game were fucking terrible in possession.
Yeah.
They defend their box really well. And really, that's what matters in the game. They don't let Liverpool create clear chances, and Liverpool get in their own way in creating clear chances. And then, like I said to you, at the end of the first half, Richarlison is going to score the equaliser.
Yep.
And Liverpool have no fucking answer for it.
Yeah.
1-1 is what it is. That's really the end of the podcast. We don't have too much more. I hope you guys have enjoyed the episode today. Like always, please rate us on Spotify. If you're viewing this on YouTube, please give us a follow. More of these to come. If you're an Arsenal fan, you can enjoy the rest of this year. As a Liverpool fan, I'm not quite sure yet, but we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks, y'all. Cheers.
Guys.
Fuck, I got slashed so bad.
Me too.